I'm going to go ahead and present tonight, and what this is called the Trailblazer Tuesday, and Ryan and Jolene, has given me the authority here to kind of share some good information here in the next 28, 30 minutes here. So I'm going to get right to it here. I appreciate your time this evening, folks, but this call is intended for those of you that really want to build a significant organization and make a true residual income. Okay, that's what this call is all about. And then we're going to reconvene on Thursday as well for that Thursday night training as well. But tonight, I'm going to cover some areas because most of you should have received an email from the company by probably yesterday. And it was entitled, I think, Phase 2, okay, the beginning of Phase 2, which is the company. We have a Phase 2 now beginning to roll out now, okay? We were in Phase 1 for the first 4 months. The company has already pretty much locked themselves down as the company out there regarding the market of Forex, of software programs and education, compliance. I mean, you name it, we have everything with the Steve Vetterall. I mean, we have all the components there, but the comp plan, that's amazing. It's very generous. But we're going to roll out now Phase 2. And this is where we begin momentum. So most of you received an email, but what I like to do is this. I want to start out by playing that video that was sent out to each of us because some of you may have not watched it, but I'd like you to really, it's only a few minutes long. I'm going to play it right now, but I'd like you to really listen in and understand where the company's going here, okay? I had the fortunate ability to fly back and be with our global directors, Ryan and Jolene, along with some of the other top performers of the corporation, the owners of Avoria Prime back in Tennessee. So we were back there for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was kind of a fun day, but there was a lot of camaraderie and excitement, and we really got into the bare bones of what the company is doing right now to put us all in a place here very soon where we can all be heroes of our own family, okay, by building the network here. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight, Phase 2. And then what we're going to do is after that, talk in terms of there's 3 components that I feel are vital if you're going to really build a strong team and keep retention. We'll go over that as we move forward here. So with that said, if those of you that have not muted your phone, you could mute your phone, I'd appreciate that. And we'll go ahead and get moving here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started here, okay? All righty. So I'm not a very techie guy, as most of you people know, but I'm going to do my best here. So let me just kind of go through this here. And what I want to do is go here and here, and we'll start out with this video here.
Powerful collection of industry legends, market experts, and seasoned entrepreneurs.
Let me back up. We want to get to the whole thing. Here we go. All right.
As we enter Phase 2 of Avoria Prime's launch, our powerful collection of industry legends, market experts, and seasoned entrepreneurs are committed to overcoming adversity. We are about to launch very disruptive technology that's proven to help our global community break barriers in learning and earning. Not only have we built the business with 0 debt or loans, but together with...
I'm going to stop right there for a moment, folks, because I want you to recognize where we're already doing business right now. In over 90 or about 100 countries, we already have a flag, okay? We already have people using our products as customers and or affiliates. So listen in, this is vital. Right now, we're only 4 months old, folks. We've got well over 9,000 customers spread out all over the world right now, and we haven't even begun yet, so listen up.
With our affiliates, spread our vision from its origins in the United States to over 100 countries, from first world nations to the developing and underserved countries across 6 continents. We have one goal in mind: dominate. Avoria Prime is starting to attract some of the top marketing talent in the world. Our mission here is to make sure our community has the best stability, resources, and corporate team for both customers and affiliates. That's been our goal from day 1, which is why we focused on leading the field with compliance training, as well as having 2 in-house lawyers. We made concerted efforts to provide instruction videos about completion of tax forms, designated results groups on Facebook, developed disclaimer stickers and disclaimer texts, added fully compliant marketing funnels, and even have presenter certification training. Avoria Prime is truly different. We are carving our own path. Avoria Prime's help desk and customized back office are developed specifically to assist each part of your journey with us, so we can best track and accelerate your growth. We think when you have a solid connection with our corporate staff and that your voice is heard, the very best ideas come together, allowing you to thrive beyond your wildest dreams. And when we work together, there's nothing that can hold us back. We are taking advantage of every opportunity and bursting through every door that opens for us at Avoria Prime. From world-class product and educational videos that have been translated into many languages, to new products being released, and an entire social market-based ecosystem where our affiliates are becoming more and more in control of their business strategies every day. We are determined to provide you with the best future, and the rewarding compensation plan we've developed conveys that symbiosis. We truly want to make sure you feel appreciated and rewarded here at Avoria Prime, which is why we've gone to great lengths to have one of the most competitive comp plans in the world, while we strive to develop a real humanitarian effort to not just create incomes, but create an impact. We are working around the clock, overcoming obstacles, surrounding ourselves with new experts, developing products and innovations. We are all in. We are now inviting you to go all in with us and cement your own legacy. Your future is ready. What are you waiting for?
Okay, let me back up here now and unshare here. So, you know, they mentioned right now in that video, we are all in, and we talked about that over the weekend as well. And for those of you that were able to listen in to Sal's mentorship call this afternoon at 1 o'clock in Pacific Standard Time, every Tuesday he does that mentorship call. He talked in terms of basically understanding that we have to understand, folks, that the phase one, which is now behind us, okay, was a good phase. Those of us that participated and decided to go to work and make the calls, get people on Zoom calls and help our team, were able to develop a nice little residual income to this point. But this is just the beginning, okay? Because they're unrolling a couple things which is really key in phase two. Number one is the onboarding system. If you go back in your back office right now, you'll recognize that the onboarding system is much better. It's easier, simple. People can just follow the whatever product they want to, let's say, order, the affiliate, the Alexander or whatever they choose. And there's going to be a set of videos that they just follow through with. It's very simple. But that process is even going to be simpler in the next several weeks here. So the onboarding process is going to be simple for anybody. It doesn't matter what age they are. They can follow through and set themselves up, believe it or not, on their own software without having us participate in doing all the follow through and all that kind of thing. So that's going to alleviate a lot of time. Secondly, is the company's releasing 4 new software programs. And some of these software programs have been around a long time, but they all have basically a track record too. I'm not here to talk about the specifics about that because I'm not here for that. But the point is that we've got some software programs that are going to be released here in the next few weeks or so that are going to blow your mind. It's amazing. And I had the ability to sit in with Ryan and Jolene and other people over the weekend and with the developers on a Zoom call, understanding what they've gone through to put together these products here they're going to be releasing here in the next couple of weeks. So if you couple the onboarding process being a lot more simplified than ever before, along with software programs that will blow you away, by the way, I'm not here to talk about the details of that. Okay, what I'm looking at here, what the company is advocating here, as what Sal did earlier on the call, is that for those of you that really want to be all in, okay, and really make an impact for your own life and be the hero for your own family, whatever your circumstances, it doesn't really matter. But if you want to be your own hero, okay, now's the time. Phase one was fine for the last 4 months. A lot of us made some money with it. We've got some teams started. We've got some momentum. But now phase two kicking in here very shortly here is going to be unlike anything you've ever seen before, okay, with the rollout of what I just described here. So with that said, let's talk about what's going to be required really, okay? And I've been doing this a long time, as most of you know, and I built some successful teams here, and I've learned from some of the best people on the planet. Janice Miller, Scott Chamberlain, they're on with this call tonight. They know who Bob Schmidt is, who was our mentor. And anyway, what I learned from Bob is that there's 3 components here in building momentum, okay? And this is a choice you'll have to figure out on your own, folks. If you want to participate in this in the next 90 days, now would be the time, starting in about the next couple days to the next week here, August 1st. If you start working this like a business, take August, September, October, the next 90 days, and treat it like a real business, your efforts and time, your challenges will basically be super outweighed by the results, okay, because of what we have coming. We've got some software programs that have worked for most of the people out there, but the newer software programs coming out are going to be unbelievably a lot more advanced, if you will. And I can't get into more detail than that, but just understand that what we have on the table coming out in the next few weeks is going to really literally blow your mind and blow the mind of those that you share this with, period. So I'm kind of a guy that just kind of talks the way it is, as you know, for those of you that know me. I'm a nice guy, but I'm pretty blunt and to the point. So I'm going to go ahead and ask for permission to go ahead and just give it to you the way it really is. If you really want to make an impact on your own circumstances here, financially here. We all have excuses. Unfortunately, 95% of the population out there has come down with not COVID-19, but excusitis, which is a horrible disease, you know. And so if we can kind of circumvent that with some strategies here and principles that have worked for me and a lot of other people, the docs, the RDocs, the JDoc, I mean, they know the game too, that in the next 90 days, folks, I promise you, and I know Ryan and Jolene would swear to it because they've done it twice. If you put time and energy, concentrated time and energy, even if it's only 1 hour a day, but be consistent, that is the key, being consistent, just like any other job, just like any other business in the world, you will, 90 days from now, you will start to see the rewards, okay? You will start to see it because you've already will have built a team, and you don't need a whole lot of people in our payout and our comp plan to make a lot of money. All you really need are 3 players, 1 in each leg. Really, that's all you really need. But you may have to go through hundreds of people to get to those 3, but it'd be well worth it. So with that said, let's talk about the next 90 days. What would be expected to really, or be required to do this right? If you choose to, it's up to you. Number 1, obviously we have to understand that this is a relationship business. I know some of you listening right now are using social media to attract, you know, people into your business through LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and that's fine. You'll have to go through a lot of people, which is, there's no problem with that, because again, all you have to do is identify with a few key people. And I'm working with some of the people under Simon Jacoby right now, and under Lee Resnick and his daughter Jessica right now. And so we've got some really cool people about ready to pop in through their efforts, which is cool. But for the most of us, guys like me and other people that you may know, we rely on the relationships we've built over the last 20, 30, 40 years of living here, okay? And so you folks, you know what it's about? It's about not the quantity of people that you introduce us to, but the quality of people. That is the key, okay? When you look in terms of some of the big giants of the world of network marketing, most of you know who Amway is, created by Rich DeVos and Jay Van Andel. They were a duo that came in and started with Nutrilite, decided to go off and basically build a distributorship with a vitamin company. And then from that bled into Amway, and they started selling soap and cleaners and all that. It's become a multi-billion-dollar, well over $10 billion a year they do in volume. And most of that's overseas, by the way, not in the US. So There's a reason why I said that. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. But the point is that Rich and Jay got together, and one of them was a little bit more, had more personality than the other. One was more the numbers guy, okay? And that was Jay Van Andel. And Rich DeVos had more of the pleasing personality. So he would go out and he'd do the sponsoring, bringing people into the business in Amway early on. This is over 50 years ago. And then Jay would be behind him and get people started. They actually sponsored 500 people. 500 people, okay, that's not easy to do. And out of 500, 5 people built Amway. There's only 5 people that actually built Amway, which has turned into a multi-billion-dollar giant all over the world. So with that said, my sponsor, Bob Schmidt, who I recognize as one of the top networkers in the world at the time, said, you know, it's all about the quality of people that you bring in, not the quantity, okay? And it's so much easier to work with maybe a handful of key people in your organization than to work with perhaps, I don't know, for an easy number, 50, 60 people that you're trying to, you know, trying to work with. It's just easier to work with a few people. So I encourage you, as you build your list and you teach your people how to do this, you can get a lot of information from your upline, from Hernan Lawless. He's an expert at this. Alan Delaney, of course, the RDocs. I know there's other people on here like Skip, probably had a lot of experience in building teams. Janice Miller here. Is identifying with your key people right now, folks. You will regret it if you don't. If you knew what you had a hold of right now, in the next 90 days, I would put my thinking cap on starting tonight. It's up to you. Or you can wait a week or a month, or you can sit by the sideline and watch the parade go by. It's entirely up to you. Either way, we're going to build this with or without you, period. That's just the way it is. We love you. We love you to join us. But again, this call is intended for those of you that really want to build, okay? So I would definitely get on it right away and go through my Rolodex, if you will, okay, in my phone, and start identifying with anybody you know that has any credibility, any influence, any clout, okay, in the business world, and anybody that you know that is just hungry right now. I would rather work with you know, some of my people I'm working with, you know, I mean, I've got some really great young folks I'm working with right now. I'd rather work with them than a seasoned person because they're hungrier and they're doing the follow through properly. So over time, we're going to help them bring in a team of people here. So identify with the sharpest people you guys know and put them on paper. Secondly, and I don't expect you to call them because you probably don't have the confidence or maybe the skill level to articulate a way to approach them, answer objections they may come at you when you call them up. If you have any issues with that, call your upline ASAP and say, I need help. I need some help on how to approach someone over the phone, okay? You're not gonna wanna just send a massive text out or emails out to people. That's garbage. I don't know anyone that's ever built a huge organization by doing that, okay? I have people in my organization that are doing that. They can do that all they want. They're gonna get little results, if any. Okay, listen, if someone was going to send me, or you, think about this, send you an invitation to look at something and they just text you, how meaningful would that be compared to if they actually left the message, say, hey Al, this is Hernan, give me a call ASAP. I've got something I've got to share with you, boom, and hang up. I mean, it's a whole different ball game here, folks. Take the initiative, make the call on the phone, do not text, do not Instagram, do not send an email out and blast it out to 1,000 people, hoping you're going to get some people calling back or responding back. Very little. That's not going to happen very much. Take it from me. I mean, I haven't done that, but I know many people have tried that, but I don't know if any of that's actually really done well in that space. Take the time and energy to make the call and make it sincere and invite them on a Zoom call, or I do a lot of 3-way calls first initially with some of my team members, and then follow up with a Zoom call if they're open-minded after about a 2 or 3 minute conversation with them regarding what we have here, okay? And again, you know, I know a lot of you listening to this won't do that because you just won't. Again, it's up to you. But for those of you that take me serious about that, you will be blown away what will be happening about 6 months from now in your organization. By the turn of the new year coming, You will have leaders in your group. You will have 600s, 1500s, maybe even 3000s in your group blowing this thing up because of what we have right now coming out of the door in the next 2-3 weeks here. Okay. So again, it's entirely up to you. So identifying with key people, that's number one. And then taking the initiative to make a call. Okay. That's key. Make it serious. I mean, come on. This is a business. You're going to invite someone into a business where they can potentially earn a 6-figure residual income in the next couple of years by applying some effort and time into this. Isn't it worth a call? I mean, really, come on, just make calls. Okay, got that done. The second part of this, there's 3 parts. So making the call to quality people, the best people you have in your, again, Rolodex, if you will, or in your phone. Go after the best people right now. I'm going only after people that I've known that have done well in the industry, or people that are venture capitalists, people that own businesses, companies. These are the easiest targets out there because these people understand wealth. They understand money. They understand hard work. They understand business. Okay. So don't go to the low-hanging fruit. You want the fruit way at the top, and then get help from your upline. You don't feel comfortable, confident, your upline will administrate calls with you, as I do with my team, to talk to the best out there, okay? So let's talk about now number 2, which is so important, being organized and follow up and follow through. And most of you, I don't have a lot of time. I'm going to squeeze this pretty quickly here, go through this. But I use a CMS program, which is a customer management system that was shared to me by Jolene several years ago. And you need to be organized. And one of the biggest problems, the biggest problem, is not the initial call to someone to get them excited about what you have to share. It's the follow-up, follow-through. Most people peter out because they're afraid to call up and find out what they thought or what the next move is. They're afraid for rejection or whatever. They just don't have the confidence, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, work with your upline to help you with the proper follow-up, follow-through. And I'm going to take you to what I use right now because it has worked well for me. I don't lose any contacts. I'm on top of my game from day one. From Monday to Sunday, I don't miss any calls. I don't lose anyone between the cracks. It's so easy to get so busy and set up Zoom calls, follow up. And unless you're working with a calendar, which I highly recommend, this is my calendar right here. And you can see I allocate times here each day for follow-up calls or calls. You see these lines? These are all calls. Now this will fill up with more Zoom calls by the end of the week here, but right now it's a little shallow, but that'll fill up with more calls here. But you can see I delegate times every single day to work my business, okay? This is serious for me. I gave up a nice well, not really residual, a nice income to go into this full time. And so I have to make it happen. And come hell or high water, it's going to happen, period. I have no outs. This is all I do. There is no second deal out there. This is it. This is all, I'm all in, okay? So, number one, I keep jumping around here because there's so much to cover here, but if you're not using a calendar to identify time slots to work your business, you're fooling yourself because you're going to get caught up with Facebook. You're going to get caught up with people calling you randomly, caught up with people that you may live with, family, children. I don't know. Everybody's got their own lifestyle and set of circumstances. But the key is you have to delegate some time consistently on your calendar if you want to move up the ranks consistently. I don't know how you can do it otherwise. I have no idea. Along with that, as you make the initial call, you want to use a system, and I'm going to kind of share with you what I'm using right now to help me. Okay, so let me share my screen again. And this is real important here. Okay. So I use a CMS program called Teamzy, okay? And I've been using this for quite a while, and it's awesome. I love it. So Teamzy is a CMS program where you can actually have a month free subscription. Again, you might use there's other systems out there. I happen to use this one, and I like it. But if you have others there's others out there you like, feel free to use whatever you want, but you've got to be well organized, folks. If you plan on really building the big team here, you have to be. And it doesn't take time. It's awesome when you wake up in the morning, you know exactly who you're going to call, why you're going to call them. You don't have to think about, oh, who was I supposed to follow up with again? It's on that piece of paper, or it's in that notebook, or I forgot you. There's no way as you start to build this, you're going to remember everything. So I'm just going to go right to it here. You add people here. Basically, you can add anyone you want, put their information in and create an account right there. And if I go over here to team here and then go to follow-up upcomings, here it is. This is my follow-up. And you'll see that I'm behind on my follow-ups. I've got a lot of people. So if I show you this a little closer here, you'll see these are people I still have to follow up with here. I'm back, July 24th, 5th, 7th, and follow up today, David. I haven't called these people yet. I actually made about 30 calls today already, by the way, so I was backed up pretty well. But I'm here to share that anything I do is recorded here, okay? It doesn't matter who it is. As an example, Chip McGall, this is the guy that I'm going after. He's a big time player out there. This is back in 5/20 with New Life, does not believe in financial plans, such as where I emailed him results, and I emailed him. It's just an example here. Steve DeWitt. Steve DeWitt actually just joined, by the way, and this guy was a big time networker and a trader as well. There's other people in here that I'm working with, Jason McCormick. This guy's a big time networker, and this goes back to, what's that, May 25th, right? Okay, R.B. Robinson, she's a specialist at teaching people how to speak. She does seminars all over the world. This started back in 4 here, and she's about ready to pop in. And I will basically write all my notes, follow through with this, record it here, I save it here, and then I go here, and if I want to forward that a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever it is, I do. So I'm on target on every single person here, okay? I know exactly what I did in the past and where I'm going. You can see my follow-ups go into now July 29th, and then at the end of the month here, they turn into what? July 31st. Go on here. Jason Borrego is another key guy I'm working with right now, or with Janice Miller, who's on the call with us right here. He's getting close to popping in. This guy owned his own company, network marketing company. But I'll wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. You'll see some of these people go, I mean, look at it. I've got follow-ups all the way through the end of August, and actually it goes beyond. So these are all my personal people I'm going after, by the way. Am I going to get them all? No. You know, if I get 5–10% of them, I'd be happy eventually. Some of them might take longer. They'll take longer than others. I go all the way to this guy here, June of, geez, look at this, Carol here. Well, you know, that's a follow-up there. Started back in May, but not interested this time. Anybody tells me that, as long as they have said, no, Al, I want nothing to do with this. Don't ever call me again. I will be relentless in following through with them. The problem I see with a lot of the people that aren't growing is that they give up because the person they invited to share a Zoom with or whatever emailed them or said, you know, I'm not ready yet, Al. It's just not for me right now. No, it looks like a scam or all this. And they let it go at that as the last word, which is not. You will find that if you do proper follow-up, follow-through, you will be able to bring in people, maybe not in the next month. It may take 6 months. I've got an example right here. Chris Lamont right here, who was introduced to me by Jim, who I'm working with here. Chris wanted nothing to do with me. That was back in November 8th of last year. I was with another company at that point, at that time. He just would flat out say, no, call me in a month, call me here. Anyway, he finally came in a couple months ago, and now he's almost to 600. And he's got some key people that he's brought in, by the way, big time networkers right now. So that's going to be a huge leg right there. If I hadn't followed up with him and followed through with him, and he's given me the permission to share this, by the way, then he, you know, most people would have given up because I would call him up. You can't call him before 11:30 in the morning. It's got to be after 11:30 in the morning, but I call him up at 12 o'clock. Hey, this is out. No, call me some other time. Boom, hang up. That's the way he rolls. See, he's making 7 figures at another company right now, with another network marketing company right now. So he's doing really well financially. But what caught his attention was the AI software and the possibility of maybe doing a little compounding on the side with some of his money. Still a lot of money, but he doesn't know where to park it, right? So now he just recently went live here about a week or two ago, and thanks to Ryan helping him out go live with this account. He's very excited about this, and a guy like him can bring in other big players, you see. But that would have never happened if I would have basically took him serious, and when he said, Al, no, I'm not interested, and just hang up on me, I was relentless. I don't give up on people I believe in. And you need to be that way too. You guys need to have thick skin and not pansy out when someone says, I'm not interested. Unless they absolutely tell you to go away and never call them back again, they are still a prospect. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. There's people on my other teams here that I'm working with that said no, 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 and now they're in. Now they're in, okay? And now with the revealing of our new product line coming out here, the onboarding process and everything else they're putting together, which we won't have time to get into all the detail on that, this is going to be a win-win for everybody. Now Chris is one of my best friends. I mean, he calls me every single day, 7 days a week. We're on the phone together talking about our next move here, okay? But again, you know, that started back November 8th of last year, okay? You have to be relentless, folks. You do not give up on people, okay? Because when the bottom line of this industry is this, you are basically, you have to accept the fact that timing is very important for everybody. Not everybody's timing is right now. And you have to understand that and recognize that. I'm working with some of you young people like Jessica right now, and we're doing some calls with some people, and they're saying, no, not interested, not interested. That doesn't mean not interested right now. It might be for the time being, but not in the future. Circumstances change, you know. It's just the way it is. So be relentless, folks. The last thing, and then we'll be done here. Again, I appreciate your time tonight, is more or less using your upline for help. We talked about that before, but I see that there's not enough, I think, talking going back and forth between those of us that are leaders and some of the new people coming in and are in need of help. And so it's your responsibility, if you want to build this thing, to seek help when you need to seek help, okay? And don't ever feel that Ryan and Jolene or me or Alan or Hernan or Skip or Janice, any of the players in here, their leaders, don't have the time or you're going to bother us. We value these calls coming in. We want to help you because, you know, we can't grow unless you grow. That's just the way it is, you see. So you need to be responsible and go up to upline, your upline 600 or 1500 or 3000 or the global directors, and seek help. Anything you need, you've got to see, you got to ask for it, because we are growing our teams right now. I've got close to 180 people in my group right now or more. I don't know how many now. And how can I possibly know who needs help in my group? Okay, they have to at least notify me, hey, I need help. How do I do this? I need help on this. How's this work or whatever. So we value that. Don't ever short yourself by not asking for help, okay? So I am through with our weekly call on this. I just want to give you some ideas and understanding the value of, number one, what do you want to do in the next 90 days, okay? Because with or without any of you on the phone here, I'm going to build this. With or without any of you on the phone, Ryan, Hernan, Jolene, we're going to build this with or without anybody else. You know, because we already have our goal in mind. We already know what the future holds with this. It's just a matter of putting the effort and time in, making the calls, follow through, being systematic and following through. And we'll get to where we want to go. So I will open up for any questions if there are any. I don't know if there are, but you can unmute yourself or in the chat. Feel free if there's any questions about what we've covered at all. Anything at all. Anybody have anything to say? Nada? That all makes sense? Okay. Just for those of you that are interested, we're doing a Zoom overview tomorrow at 4 p.m. That's Pacific Standard Time. I'll be doing the Zoom and walking whoever you bring to the call, an overview what we're doing here regarding Avoria Prime, the education, some of the products, and kind of where we're headed with the company. So I thank you for your time. If there's no
Hey, Al.
questions, yes,
Actually, I did have one question real quick that I think is going to help some people out. So I wanted to ask if that's okay with you.
of course.
Um, Specifically with following up with people, do you find there's like a best practice or a methodology to it? Like, do you follow up with what you would consider the most, I guess, curious prospects first? Like, do you have like a rating system? Like, I know Hernan has like he does it one way, of course. He has like a rating system, and as he talks with people, he moves them from list to list. I guess, do you have any, like, what insight do you have in regards to how you follow it with prospects, like a rating or whatnot, like priority wise?
Oh, thanks for that question. That's a good question. With Teamzy, the CMS I'm using, there's actually a rating system on there, but I don't use any of that. I don't have, that's too much work for me. So I don't use anything like that. I identify by them saying, Al, here's how I rate people. If they are carrying on an ongoing conversation with me, okay, and if I send them an email and they say, hey, thanks, Al, get back with me in a month, get back with me in 90 days, a week or whatever, then that's strong to me because I'm still engaged with them. But if I find that after 4 or 5 calls every week and a half, 2 weeks, and I basically will always follow up within a few days after showing the Zoom, I always want to come back within a couple days. And then if they're not responding back to me, I'll go ahead and add a little bit more time in between. So over time, after about the 5th or 6th call, I don't give up on people. And the last messages I'll leave is just like, hey, you know, Matt, you haven't responded to any of my calls. Initially, you're interested, but I'd just like to know where I stand so I can move on. Shall I continue to follow up with you? Because I'm relentless, or shall I just give up? And just let me know either way through a text or a phone. And they don't even respond with that. But after about the 6th call, I kind of drop them. But I don't really have a priority way to do it. It's all regulated on my interaction, my conversation with them back and forth. Okay, like with Chris Lamont, that dates back to November 8th. He's one of my key guys right now. Okay, I don't know who's. I think I can mute that person. Janice, can you mute yourself? I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of noise here. Anyway, I was going to say, what was I thinking? Yeah, with Chris Lamont, that goes back to November 8th of last year. Even though he was not ready, he might have been rude for most of the callbacks or whatever. At least he was engaged with me. He didn't say, don't ever call me back, Al. Call me back in a month. Call me back in 3 weeks. Not now, Al. Call me tomorrow, whatever. Oh, that's good. At least he was engaged with me.
And I was the opposite.
Hey, Janice, can you mute your phone? I'll see if I can do it on my end. Apparently, she's not hearing. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry. Anyway, okay. So I don't know if that answered your question, but that's kind of what I do. I don't prioritize anything.
Also possible for me to do. You very well might work if you were able to find a key, but you're going to have to find it.
I'm really sorry, guys. Janice, can you hear me? Hello? I would have to. Thought I had. Ryan, can we remove her somehow? I don't know. Okay. It's quiet now.
Yes, sir. Al, that was awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. That helps clarify some things in my mind. I'm just trying to, I feel like that's a struggling point, not only for me, but for other people, is specifically who to follow up with first and how to go about it. And if there is like a priority or a certain way to go about, like you said, don't go for the low hanging fruit, go for like the high hanging fruit. So I want to establish who should be top of my list to talk with and then go from there. So thank you.
I don't get a lot of that because I only go after really high-end people. I try to. I mean, and not to say they're any better than anyone else, but they're just easier to work with. People that have good people skills, that have been around business, that have done well financially, are easier to work with than the guy that, you know, never built a business before, is afraid to get on the phone and make a call or even answer back in a prompt manner. I mean, you know, it's your choice, but I don't really spend a whole lot of time with people like that. If there's no communication, if they don't start communicating with me, I drop them and just move on. So I don't really think it out so much. I think too many people think too much too about this. They're thinking, I've got to do it just right. I've got to have the perfect follow-up, follow through. I got to have the perfect email. I think it's all nonsense. I think all you got to do is be consistent and go by your gut feeling on who is respecting your time, okay, with the conversation going back and work with them. So that's kind of what I do, and it works for me. Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm working a lot with my organization. Most of my time spent downline right now because I work depth. And it's a lot of fun because now, you know, it's again, you know, if you're able to bring in a handful of key people, they can turn you on to dozens and dozens of people, right? And now you wake up in the morning, you've got so much to do, you can't even get to everybody because there's so much activity going on in your organization. That's when it becomes fun, it becomes a game here. And so then I prioritize where is my time best spent. Well, it's going to be spent with the person that's ready to do a Zoom call today or wants to set me up with a three-way call tomorrow. I only work with those people that are ready right now. Otherwise, you don't hear from me very much. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yes, sir. It makes perfect sense. Thank you for clarification on that.
Okay. Thank you for your time. Everybody have a blessed evening, and we will see you all soon. Thank you.